here to stay. Listen up, gonna teach you about this and that. But he's just a goofy guy in a straw hat. So join in and have a laugh. It's gonna be a good time, that's a fact. Information and crypto parodies. Sit back and enjoy the show. You just never know which way you'll go. Get ready for Digitspin Crypto.
Hey guys, how you doing? It's Dino. Digitspin Crypto. Now, just a goofy guy in a straw hat. Haven't shaved yet. It's a Saturday, so I've kind of been goofing off and tinkering around. Appreciate you joining me. Little impromptu Electroneum show. I know it's been a week or so, so I wanted to jump on and talk about the Electroneum price. Of course, there's some other good stuff we'll talk about, and I'll answer any questions that you guys got going on out there on the chat if you were lucky enough to catch us live. All right, let's take a look. I see, what's it, Pugsy Random. I got Crypto Man's out there, Michael Stewart's out there, World Class Citizen. Thanks for joining up. See you guys right out there on the chat. Anything juicy? Boggs wants to know. Anything juicy? I wouldn't consider this a super juicy show, but you never know. Anything could happen. You guys start asking me questions. So, I really wanted to take a look at the Electroneum price. It's been kind of surprising, and I wanted to bring it up onto the charts. So so we could take a look. So last week we had this amazing pump up. We went live. It was pretty exciting. Over a period of 8 hours, this thing shot up pretty significantly. It was about 70%. And then, of course, we had our retrace, which we expected to see. Now, I'm looking at the chart at the 4 hour, and Electroneum is real tough to chart. Because everybody goes, because there's no liquidity and everything. The only way you get liquidity is when the price goes up. People complain about liquidity on other coins, the large coins, and the only way you can keep manipulation is when the price is significantly high, because then it takes more money to be able to make changes or modify something or to make it do what you want it to do. But Electroneum has a small market cap, 50 million, so somebody with a good chunk of money can move things. But taking a look at the 4 hour, we had that. Now, the surprising part about it is the exciting part so far, and I wasn't expecting this. I expected this retrace to come back down. I did expect it to hit about 50%, which brought it here. The big key is that it's been holding this 16.2, 16.5 sat price, which has surprised me. Now, don't kid yourself, it is really bouncing on that support line, and it does look like it from what I'm looking at, it looks like it could break through it, or it should break through it, but for some reason it's not, and it's bouncing off and holding it. At some point, you would tend to think that this is gonna break and go to the downside. Now, if we're looking at the MACD, we are on an upward swing momentum, but we have more buying pressure than selling. You see these here turning red right over my shoulder there, when you're looking at me on the left shoulder there, but it's my actual right shoulder, and you have a lot more buying pressure. The good thing is that the moving average on the MACD is coming down to a point where you would see a turnaround. We're going to have to see a crossover at some point. There's going to be a turnaround shortly. and I don't know if it's going to be significant or just a little bounce. But this particular cycle, I think this is going to continue to run in with the selling pressure, and then at some point we're going to see a cross of the moving average on the MACD crossover, and we will see a upward trend. But as of right now, it's a tough call. It's really tough trying to even pretend to do TA on Electroneum. You can really only guess because it can move in such a dramatic fashion that throws everything out the window. So there's only so much that we can go with. The only saving grace that has really impressed me so far is that the 16 sat range has been holding, no matter, even with the Bitcoin dump, because and the price increase. Now, when you take a look at Bitcoin, let's go over to the Bitcoin chart here. All right, everybody's telling. I'm going to give it to you plain as day. Everybody else is throwing you bullshit. All right. If you take a look at the daily, Bitcoin's in a downward trend. All right. You can see the MACD, plain as day. This is going to continue to go down. Now it's just a matter of how far. If we just get a slight swing, or if it's going to be, turning around. We've peaked off. We're seeing higher lows, lower highs, and as far as the daily is concerned, the MACD is concerned, this trend should continue, and Bitcoin price should continue to either go sideways, oscillate up and down, but ultimately I think we're going to see a continuation over the next probably at least over the next week, of this continuing to head down. This is our trend line that I had pressed based on what was going on in the past, and it has the potential to come back to down this trend line, which is in that 30 figure. If this kind of down here, we would meet somewhere around 31,000. So I expect Bitcoin to hit 31,000. I do. As long as this is continuing down, we've got to get this MACD moving average back to a lower section, a lower sentiment, so that it can do a crossover and move along. It's just way too high, and so you want to keep an eye on that oscillation. With that, I would tend to think that we'll see more value moving from Bitcoin into the altcoins. So that could help Electroneum. That's the reason why I talk about Bitcoin. Yeah, I know that. And looking at the 4-hour, we have the same thing. We're on Bitcoin. We're in a negative trend, and I have a feeling these oscillations are going to get a little smaller. I'm expecting this to break down, possibly even further. I think we have a far better chance of breaking down even further, heading downwards, than we do up at the moment. Not to say we're not going to see an upward ping, but we're definitely in that direction. We've got to have a few weeks, I think, of downward movement before we can continue up and go to the next level. If you notice the prices when they were in the 20s and the 30s, when we would have a negative 4-hour direction, the price would go sideways. There was enough buying to keep it to go sideways. Once we hit the 30 to 40 range, that extra exuberance of buying pressure disappeared, and then the oscillation started to come in. So instead of going sideways with everybody buying, keeping it propped up, it's falling. And so that's clearly a signal to me that this is there's more weakness involved in this. You take a look, and whenever it would plateau Bitcoin would take a leg up, it would go sideways. It would take a leg up, it would go sideways. All right, and with that being gone, it's not going to be there anymore because of there's just not enough people buying it at this point. So you're starting to see those oscillations again. All right, so that's my thought on Bitcoin with it over the next few weeks to see a sideways or a downward motion. And then how's that going to translate into Electroneum? I don't know. Pretty excited about this. And I'm pretty excited about the stuff that's going on with Electroneum. I'm pretty excited that it's holding the 16 sat range. It's staying at 16 sats, and with Bitcoin coming down, the USD price is going to show lower. It's just a function of the trading pair because it doesn't trade against USD, so there's no trading value directed to that. And so Electroneum's going to be in a weird place. I think that as we go along, if we start to see some news come out regarding FCA, regarding an exchange, a US-based exchange, any other exchanges where Binance is a joke, and I'm going to say it right out. Right, nobody in the USA can use Binance unless you use Binance USA, and nobody uses that crap. All right, so Binance brings no value whatsoever at this point, and that's my personal opinion. I know Electroneum likes it, and they're probably going to be pissed that I said something like that. But the fact of the matter is that it'll bring no value. You can put Electroneum on Binance right now, and it wouldn't do a thing. You gotta have access to U.S. citizens. And there's a lot of people out there that would love to purchase Electroneum, but can't easily get to it. It's the best way to say it, and that's got to change. Let's take a look at also what we got going on. I'm gonna hold on to my Electroneum here at this point. Obviously I don't sell. Not sure I'm buying in yet. If I start to see another leg up, and we hold that another leg, I'm gonna probably look into getting more Electroneum. But with Bitcoin going, the truth of the matter is if you were smart enough, you bought a basket of coins, Electroneum, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. All right, if those are your favorites, and you may have other favorites that you're going to trade, but hopefully you were smart enough to keep at least 50% of your assets in Bitcoin as of right now, and you were able to create some gains with that. And the fact of the matter is the reason why we see not a lot of movement on some of these let's say greater than 50. Targeted market cap coins. Anything less than that is people are holding off. Nobody's going to be putting money into it. They're going to put money into Ethereum. They might put money into a couple of other coins that are in that top 20, 25 because they believe in that. And there's some motion there. Coins that are 75 and greater on the listings. 75 to maybe 200, 250. They're not doing anything because nobody's going to put their money into it, their Bitcoin into it at the moment. Now, if it's fresh buying, and this is why Electroneum has a great advantage, because fresh buying, as people use the AnyTask system, they're generating fresh buying whether they know it or not. Whether that was their intent as a purchaser or not, they're buying Electroneum to pay the vendor. So there's a nice bonus there for Electroneum. That you have these purchasing cycles for AnyTask, and that's the type of things we want. The problem is that they come in quick. You don't know when it's going to happen, and and the market buy happens, and it causes a nice boost when they have to recharge or reload their Electroneum. I would tend to think they keep some in a wallet so that they can pay out as they go. I doubt that they're buying it as they go, and I think once the purchase is made, and they probably batch that every week or maybe every couple days, and then place those orders to be able to stock up and resupply the general fund that they use at AnyTask, or the third-party company uses. AnyTask themselves don't touch the cryptocurrency, so there's another third-party company that does all that for them. So obviously they have to keep some in a basket to get started. Maybe 1 million coins or something, and then as things are sold off, and then they replenish it so that they can keep that general fund funded and available. So that is a real big bonus for Electroneum. Getting more and more coins into the machine keeps coins locked up in activities, which is nice. There's no doubt in my mind that Electroneum at some point is going to be worth its weight. It's going to pull its weight, and we'll just have to see where that comes in. And as far as this cycle market getting onto a U.S. exchange, which is going to be important, is going to be key. And if we take a look, I'm gonna get to your questions shortly, guys. Put them out there on the chat, and then I'll review that. Let's go to. All right, Electroneum this week. They put out their announcement. They do a Friday report or a Friday, data thing, letting people know what's going on. The things that kind of impressed me in this last Friday is that they had 1,760 app downloads and 1,200 new registered accounts a day. And I need you guys to really recognize that's pretty significant a day. I don't think I've ever created a product that downloaded that many, or was used in that type of fashion. The usage for Electroneum truly does keep impressing me, and to get 1,700 downloads a day, that's pretty significant. And out of those 17, you got 1,200 new registered accounts. So that's a good ratio, and a great pickup to see that type of stuff happening on an average daily basis. So that's pretty significant. They do go into the 4.1 million registered users, which is nice, and and then we talked about the 1,700 apps per day. All right, the AnyTask system, which is a big key. The AnyTask brings a lot of value to Electroneum. If a country wants to bring Electroneum and approve it to be inside their country, a lot of countries are afraid to approve cryptocurrencies. They don't want to see everybody taking their fiat from those countries, plunking it down, and all that money leaving the country to an exchange that's outside the country. And so now you have a negative cash flow, GDP out the door. So AnyTask is a way to combat that, because it's like, you have cryptocurrency, they may be buying it, but they also could use the AnyTask system. Now they can earn some money. They can create jobs where they can obviously sell products to outside the country and then bring money into the country. It's a complete change, a 180. And then when it's in the country, then they can then spend it locally at vendors, bringing the wealth value of those countries upwards. This is a big key of Anytask and using Electroneum. And the reason why there's no doubt in my mind Electroneum will see a value because of that, because it can be used like this. And there's no other project that's doing anything like this or has come close to this. There's a lot of good information here on the data, and the overview here kind of is nice. Our support team is experiencing high demand in recent weeks, which has been amplified by the success of Anytask and the TV advertising campaigns. As a result of this increased demand, our communications have not been as frequent as we would like, said Electroneum's Richard Ells. So, obviously, you guys notice we haven't seen much of Richard or any official Electroneum videos or feedbacks. He has been on a few YouTube channels, but there's a lot going on, at Electroneum. They're not sitting around, and they've expressed that this activity has kept them busy. And they said, listen, we know that this is may have caused concern to some of you, but rest assured that we are working on resolving support tickets as fast as we can. And there's a couple of things that obviously are going on that would create support tickets, new users, and then obviously, Electroneum was thrusted into, Electroneum being one of the only UK companies that filed for the FCA registration process, has to follow those rules and regulations, and being one of the first ones, there's a lot of interaction that has to go into play, and the level of paperwork and data that has to be collected, and it's called a compliance. There are banks and they have buildings full of people just doing compliance, regulatory compliance. And that's how they keep other banks out, by adding more and more compliance, because then it becomes so expensive to do for small banks, they can't do it. So it's got to have taken a significant amount of their time and energy to do this. And there are many crypto companies in the UK that did not do that and will not be able to provide business in the UK until next year, until June, when they can reapply. So that's going to be key for Electroneum. Mr. Ells also explained that it's particularly important because Anytask is already attracting thousands of non-crypto users. This is important, and what I was talking to you guys about before, to the fact that whether or not they even recognize that they're using crypto, when they pay the vendor, they're generating a purchase of Electroneum, generating demand. And we are genuinely witnessing real-world adoption here. He highlighted, and as new users come on board, they'll be looking for places to spend. And more and more vendors will then start to accept Electroneum as we go forward. We're also planning a new ambassadorial program that'll help foster daily conversations around the project and help attract new members from the wider crypto space, said Richard. This is nice, and since Richard said about that, there is communications with Electroneum, with folks to create the ambassador program, to get input. The Electroneum did reach out to the community, certain key folks, to get feedback, suggestions. They did a really good job with Jonathan and reaching out to get that feedback, to get ideas, to try to put together a good ambassadorial program that will help interact with the community, bring information, and move things forward. So I'm glad to see that they're doing that, and we'll see how that turns out, and if that does end up happening. They said it will, and I'm sure it will. It's just probably a matter of when. And the big key here is, Richard's saying that he's very incredibly proud of the community, and that Electroneum thanks everybody for the continued support. And without the thousands of shares, likes, and comments, we truly wouldn't be where we are today. And so I'm really happy to see Electroneum show a little humility and a little humbleness, and to truly appreciate and to send out a thanks to all those who have been fiercely supporting Electroneum, sharing the creativity of Electroneum, the value of it, and why it's something you're going to want in your wallet. And you guys know who you are. Congratulations to you guys, and I thank you also. It's good to see a lot of good supportive guys out there, and you guys know who you are. All right, and that's the one big key thing there. Now, this little scribbit came up, and I thought this would be interesting, and this was on the community information, the community electronic.com, the community, I don't know what they call these things here, website. And one of the things that they had wrote in here, I'd like to take a time to read this because I thought it was informative and awesome. When the FCA registration process came in, they had to immediately meet a certain set of guidelines. Clearly, some of the paperwork had to be re-reviewed, and a lot of us know that there was a lot of accounts. There were some accounts, I can't say it was a lot, but there was a reasonable amount of accounts that got locked and had to be verified to bring it to make sure that the paperwork was verified to the standard level that was required by the FCA, being that they were in the middle of that process. And it's pretty clear to me by the actions taken that that had to happen immediately to meet the regulation, to be able to pass, and for the guy to name of your company, click, your address, click, did you re-review to the fifth level of the documents? Oh no, well, get that done by tomorrow and I'll check that box off because I'm leaving the day after. And the only way they can comply is to lock those accounts, and as soon as they lock them, they're complied. All right, well, you've complied. Now they got to go back and fix the mess and get the information from everybody and go forward from there. All right, this comes from the PR manager, Oliver Acuna, a real sharp guy, real dedicated. Guy really enjoys his job and loves Electroneum and does a yeoman's effort to make things happen over Electroneum. And he says, "Hi, I'm Oliver Acuna, the PR manager at Electroneum. I am profoundly saddened by the issues all of you have been facing. Plankton, which is one of the supporters and runs the Reddit, and he obviously works on the on this site also, has been contacting me saying that we all need to help you as soon as possible. And, there was a few thousand folks that had locked accounts. And it was taking, 30, 45, some guys had it locked for 60 days, trying to send the information that they needed. Electroneum was trying to figure out the proper verbiage that they could use to be able to get, to request the proper documents. And because the FCA law, they use an algorithm. I did this research, and I found out that they use an algorithm to figure it out, and you're not allowed to tell people the algorithm because that shows them how to skirt, how to fake out, how to manipulate the system. So they can't give away any information about the algorithm, and there's certain ways of asking for data and information to be able to qualify. And that process was painful. And he goes, I want to help you all. So I'm sharing my private email here for you to send me your support ticket numbers, the dates you raise your tickets, the email attached to your account, and I will give you all my word that I will personally get support to respond to you within a few days when I receive your email. So Ali is taking it on himself single-handedly to try to massage the process to the best of its ability to get these things resolved for everybody. And I think there's a few hundred folks still left in the system that need to have this KYC check done. And Ali's going above and beyond and trying to hand carry these things around inside of Electroneum. These guys care. They do. They care. And there's a process that has to happen, and it can seem cold and it can seem disengaged. But the people that work at Electroneum really do care, and will stick their necks out for you to make sure that they can get things solved for you. And I'm glad to see Ali do that. I want to give a big hat tip to Oliver for taking this on. And he says, truly, he goes, on behalf of Electroneum, I want to sincerely apologize for any inconveniences, but believe me, this has been unavoidable. This goes back to what I was saying before. That I really don't think they had a choice, albeit hugely painful journey toward the regulatory compliance, and not a face shutdown, as it will, up to 100. Basically what they're saying here is that they had to do this to become regulatory compliant and not face a shutdown, as will 100 other UK-based crypto firms that have failed to take the necessary steps. And this goes back to what I was saying a few minutes ago. There are hundreds of other companies. Ali's probably smarter than me because I just talk off the cuff. Ali's thinking, it could be up to 100 UK-based crypto firms that have failed to do the registration process. And the fact of the matter is they won't be able to do business in the UK and probably in Europe as things go along. And they're going to have the same problem. Electroneum again is ahead of the curve to get these things done, to make sure that they're way ahead. And you guys have to realize that they're going through these painful processes and these events that seem nonsensical, seem annoying, but they're positioning the company to be a first player. They're going to have first player moves and abilities that when companies start to interact with Electroneum, I think they're going to stick with them because they were there in the first, and now they have, they'll be able to reach a critical mass where people are accepting it. It's being used in this country. This country is used for electric. It's used for water. And people are using the instant payment, and you're going to hit a critical mass where that no other coin will be able to match. Be able to match its functionality that happens intrinsically. So that's important. He did provide his email here, and that you can send him the information. And he goes, and the fact is, we had over 100,000 accounts blocked. All right, so that, I mean, it's not, out of 4 point something million, it's not a huge percentage, but 100,000 accounts is a lot of accounts, but not in the grand scheme of things, due to some implementations that were indispensable for the future of Electroneum. And they said that right here. And this paragraph is going to be important, and I want you guys to pay attention, if I remember correctly when I read it. And it's due to the implementations that were indispensable for the future of Electroneum. All right? And something that's indispensable means that it's going to allow Electroneum to go places that other coins can't go. All right, because of being regulatory compliant. Any crypto firm that does not go through this painful journey will be banned by the appropriate authorities. And we've made sure Electroneum is here to stay. All right, so Electroneum wants to make sure that that there's not going to be any problems. It's a matter of it's an LE, an extinction level event if you don't get this stuff done. And so they have to get it done. As of today, but less than, and this says 6/1/2021, but this is actually January 6th. As of today, January 6th, 2021, with less than 800 accounts. All right, so I thought it was a few hundred. It's possibly up to 800 accounts, still facing a few issues, which is pretty good. That's what 99.2% complete. But they too will be resolved over the next couple of days. We apologize for the inconvenience, and we assure you that you will soon see why. This here is very fascinating to me, and I don't want to read into somebody else's words, but we apologize for this inconvenience, but I assure you that you will soon see why this has been for the benefit of the community as well as the company. All right. And that being said, if you're still facing issues, DM Oliver, email Oliver, and he will personally walk things through the process, get it to the right people to try to get your account. There's only 800 or so less of you guys out there that still have the KYC issues. Never mind the 1,700 people a day that are being added to the environment. So, the ETN's got their hands full, that's for sure. But this sentence really intrigues me, and rest assured that you will soon see why this has been to the benefit of the community. And if we relate this back to what Richard was saying in his video, Richard was really clear that we have some nice integrations, deals, projects, whatever you want to call it, all waiting on the FCA. So once that registration comes through, I would tend to think the things that Richard was talking about and what Ali is saying here will be able to get a little green stamp slapped on it, and they'll be able to start moving those things forward. So I'm pretty excited about that. And he goes, I apologize on behalf of Electroneum, but rest assured, this is being treated as a high priority. And so let's put that to bed. We know Electroneum's on top of it. I've seen a couple of emails out there where you guys want to cancel Electroneum, this, that, and the other thing, ranting and raving. They're doing what they can, and Ali, you have a means now to get it, your issue if you've been working it for months. I talked to a couple of people, and they're complaining they can't. And I go, "Was your account locked?" And he goes, "No, mine's not." But then why are you complaining? If it's not a problem that you have, why are you sitting out here bitching on this channel or bitching on that thing? All right, let's get to the people that actually have the problem. Let's hear what they had to say, and let's get them to Ali. and we'll make sure that the right people are helping them out. They want to get this resolved. They want to get this past them. They want this to work. They're not doing it on purpose. Stop whining and get the information to him and let him help you. All right? Okay. Very good. Let's see. I'm going to turn it over to the chat and see if there's anything I can answer out there. See if there's any questions that you guys had that I can answer. And we'll go forward from there. Let's change up my background. I'll put the Electroneum back up on here. All right. I'll start at the top here. Okay. Oh, all right. So I got, like I said, I got Michael Stewart out there, Crypto Man, World Class Citizen. We got the Pogsy. We got Timo's out there. Hey, Timo, never give up. Anthony's out there. Anthony, good to see you. Matt McKenzie, my buddy Christopher Kumi, Matt Kersey, Jason Jenkins out there, Juan's out there, Juan Saramo, Pat's out there, Billionaire Faith out there, Papa Schultz, and I think I've hit everybody that's been in the chat. All right, let's work from this here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Crypto Man saying, yeah, there's no real support under that set price, so we're at the mercy of the market makers. Absolutely. Papa Schultz says, nah, I don't care. I'm gonna still hold. I'm still holding, no matter what. Good for you. Good for you. I did these Grand Theft Auto videos, and I thought it was fun. I was trying to get people to talk about the crypto in the game, and then if they see it, they can see the videos that I produce. Some people like them, some people don't. If you don't like watching video game playthroughs, don't watch them. Just like with the Splinterlands, don't watch them. And obviously the Electroneum content will come in between, and Bitcoin content. And do myself a favor, let's do the like, comment, and subscribe deal. You definitely want to do that. If you have Electroneum and you want people to know about it, you gotta help the algorithm. Give it a like. Put a comment in down below. Even if you tell me my hat looks goofy, and let's go from there. Billionaire Faith saying, yeah, Dino, I tend to agree. When regulation hits Electroneum, Electroneum will explode because it's positioned really well, and that's true. And it's true. It'll have that first mover advantage. It'll have all the stuff while they'll all shut down and have to deal with it to come back online. Electroneum will have that period of time, hopefully, to take advantage of it, and we'll see how that turns out. But they're making moves. It never seems fast enough. Because it's a fast-paced thing, and I guess it always seems like, if you follow a lot of different coins, there's always a coin announcing something. It's like every day somebody's announcing something, But if you break it down, it's like, well, no, this coin's announcing something, that coin, then this one, then that one, then this one, So it's not like every day one coin is announcing something. It comes in spurts and what have you, and it's the same as Electroneum. Electroneum works just as fast as everybody else to make things happen. All right. Crypto Man kind of agrees with me with my finance evaluation. Billionaire Face says, yeah, Coinbase should definitely be top priority. They are looking for regulation-friendly projects. Please tell them, Dino. Yeah, there's a good group of folks that I chat with that scoop up all that news. Electroneum is fully aware regarding Coinbase, and they definitely have all of the paperwork that's needed. I remember clearly Richard stating that that they were going to apply for Coinbase So I would tend to think once that regulation comes into effect and they're FCA compliant, I can't see how Coinbase would not add them. But that's just me, and I don't know anything. What do I know? But I can't see how they wouldn't add them when you have an actually FCA regulated coin. Clearly, it's okay. You know, it's freaking registered. It's got a certificate number. All right. Yeah. Let's see here. Christopher says, "You're right, Dino. Always." Let's see here. Pat S. Pat S doesn't like XRP. He's disappointed in it. He has a few choice words for XRP. Yeah, XRP. You know, I don't know if you guys watched my show the whole time. I've never understood how XRP had never been evaluated as a security. You know, when the company themselves, it's not even like it's sold on an exchange. I mean, you could buy it on exchanges and everything, but the company itself sells the XRP from a little well that they magically generated of pre-mined coins and sells them to the public or private industry. I just find it shocking that XRP has actually existed to this point without any type of scrutiny. So we'll see. XRP will exist whether they end up having to pay a fine or not, and you know, people will move on. My thing though is that if they pay the, I have a feeling they want them to pay the fine, but they were going to classify it as a security, and so XRP said, "Oh, I'm not paying you the fine unless you classify it not as a security." And the SEC said, "No, it's a security, and you're going to pay us the fine." And I have a feeling that's the reason why they went to court. And it wasn't that this, or anything. They just don't want it classified as a security. Because when it's classified as a security, it can never go back onto these exchanges. It can only be sold on, like on NASDAQ or something like that, on a very specific security-based model exchange. And so general exchanges won't be able to list it. And the XRP situation could be very devastating for them. And this is what's going to happen to a lot of coins that didn't go through this process that Electroneum's doing. They're getting this done up front, and it's going to make a significant difference for them. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Crypto Man saying, yeah, this is the year of adoption for Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's the truth. Nothing else matters. And those two make the institutions that have been buying it in billions. Everything else will come later in the year. And I have a feeling you're relatively right on that. Juan says, what's up, Dino? Jason Jenkins says, Electroneum seems to like that half a penny USD price. I have to tell you, yeah, it's been shocking for the last 12 months or so. Electroneum, give or take, has been around a half a penny, and it's almost it's almost like a stable coin. It just seems to have found a baseline that it likes, and it stays there. So when it starts to pump up, we'll know it, and we'll all be pretty excited about it. It's going to happen at some point. All right. Let's see here. Matt McKenzie saying, are they the Digitspin? I was in from the beginning. I was mining Electroneum near the start, but they have always said the same things. Electroneum always has a lot of plans on their table and making things get done. And the fact of the matter is, they've created a lot of stuff, and everything that they've pretty much said that they were going to do, they've done. There's a couple of stragglers out there that were announced and that were third-party implementations, and the third parties fell apart, and so they haven't been able to go forward. And this no fault Electroneum is, it's a third party situation, and nothing you could do about that. But everything that Electroneum has stated that they were going to do that was internal, they've accomplished. I have no reason to doubt them whatsoever. All right, let's see here. Juan's saying, "Hey, buddy, is my fleece blanket keeping you warm these days?" I think Juan's the one who did the design for the blankets where you can buy the Electroneum design. And yeah, actually, I have that at home. I don't keep it at the shop here. I don't want it to get ruined. But yeah, one of my prized possessions there, Juan. and I forgot. If you type in on the chat, Juan, if you're still there, the link to your products for the Electroneum stuff. He made some nice stuff. I did a video on it. And we had these custom art that he did for Electroneum, and then you can get it printed on blankets, cups, and T-shirts, and all that type of stuff. It was pretty neat. If you put it in the chat, I'll get it verified so that it'll show up. All right, let's see what else. Yeah. Crypto Man's going, yeah, Dino, you're absolutely right. XRP is the definition of a security. It sure seems like that to me. It really didn't require a whole lot. I mean, I don't got a lot of juice in the hat, but I have to tell you, even a dunce like me can figure that one out. Let's see here. Crypto Wave saying Electroneum is truly proof of work. Yeah, obviously the chain does work on proof of work, but it's physically proof of work where you can earn Electroneum using any task. My collar's all messed up here. Yeah, you can use any task, and through the deliverables that you produce, you earn Electroneum. So yeah, it's true proof of work. Absolutely. Let's see here. Christopher Cummings. I didn't think it was proof of work. Yeah, no, it's still proof of work. Believe it or not. The miners. It used to be public miners. And then Electroneum identified a class of miner, which means that they're allowing colleges and NGOs, and from what I understand, the colleges part is coming into action to be able to register and be able to then have access to the Electroneum network, to add a node so that they can mine and also earn from the blockchain the emissions for doing the mining or the accounting work, which is kind of nice. So and they can control that themselves, the miner, once they're approved, or should I say, once they meet the classification that Electroneum put into place. It's still public mining, but there is a whitelist that you have to meet to get to be allowed to do that. All right. So I think I've hit all the questions. We'll keep the show short and sweet, and I appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. I had a lot of fun. I'm gonna be, if I'm lucky, I'm going to probably do a Splinterland show in a little bit, so look for that if you want to see show 12 for Splinterlands. I'm going to try to get that done tonight. If not, it'll be tomorrow, so I'll see how that turns out, if I can fit that in. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for visiting Digitspin Crypto. Make sure you subscribe. It's in your best interest. Talk to you later.